Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 23 for Pure Speed Elite Series here at Watkins Glen International. The Glen, as some might say, is a worthy test of some of the best drivers to ever sit in a race car. A challenging course for a few, but for others like Andrew Wisdom, who holds the point lead with 6 wins. He's ready to take on that challenge. Wisdom is also known to be the road course king here at PSES, where we saw him win at Road America just a few races ago. Can anyone dethrone him here tonight? Stay tuned to find out, as I'm here with Jordan Mcgraw, bringing you all the action from the booth. Good evening, Jordan. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing excellent there, Eliza.
I know. I'm excited for tonight. It is so slippery out there, though. It is pretty wild. So I think we're going to see a wild ride for a lot of these guys out here.
Oh, absolutely. The conditions seem to be relatively treacherous. At least that's what we've seen in practice and kind of experienced out there trying to get some laps in. So this is going to be a tough race for these drivers. Watkins Glen, normally known as a more basic road course, but it is not driving like that tonight.
Absolutely. These curbs can be pretty treacherous here. You're going through the S's. That can be a scary thing. Turn 1, that's going to be one of the easier turns out here. The S's and then coming off of the bus stop. Another tricky situation that can happen for these guys. As a group, though, Jordan, we talked about it ourselves. Turn 1, lap 1. That's going to be a scary spot for these guys.
Yeah, turn 1 is going to be really difficult. These drivers have been going at it for a while, making a lot of laps, but they haven't made one of those slower laps. I can always throw those up-to-speed laps where you're coming to the green. You're not going as fast as you normally would into turn 1, so it messes with your marks a little. You want to dive it in there a little deeper, a little bit later than you normally do, because you don't want to lose time because you're going slower. So you don't need as much braking distance. But if you go a little too far, then there's obviously going to be issues. And with as many drivers as we have in the field tonight, there's going to be a lot of action in that first corner. And then as we said, up the S's, they're incredibly slick. They're way more slick than in these cars than I've experienced in any game or seen from what I've watched of NASCAR races at this track. So it's going to be really, really difficult to make it through these first couple of laps where everyone's all bunched up without damage. Because we haven't even mentioned the bus stop yet, which is another treacherous corner. And then once you get through there, you get the carousel, you get the left-hander, then the right-hander, and then you're back to start-finish line. But the first half of this track is going to be a menace to these guys.
Absolutely. You can see Matt O'Brien out there. He is working on his lap along with Tom Flitcroft, Cole Snyder, and Byron Jones. CM Bama is in chat and he says, "Man, I'm horrible. I want to go back to Noble on heat. I was way better there." You know, it is so tricky out here, so extremely slick. You have to baby the throttle and baby those brakes. That's just going to be the story of the night. It is more important to stay on the track than get the fastest lap out there and then go off course and wreck it. You only have one fast repair tonight and they have 4 sets of tires, so they need to use everything that they can in the wisest way possible. And the way to do that is stay on the track, even if it means giving up that second or so. So let's see if they can do that. We have Matt O'Brien in first. Let's take a look here. Not showing many times yet. Matt O'Brien on the board with 1:15.07. Tom Flitcroft on the board with 1:15.5. And Hunter Johnson 1:16.31 with Wisdom going straight to the lead. And speaking of Wisdom, guys, huge shout out to Andrew Wisdom as it is his birthday today. Not only that, but Dakota Kramer has put a bounty on Wisdom. So if anyone can beat Wisdom tonight, they get a die cast. If they can't beat him, oh my, you guys. Oh, Matt O'Brien, wowzer. That's one way to end your qualifying run right there. We'll just move on from that. Let's hope we don't see that in race. But anyway, so yes, if Wisdom wins, he's going to get the die cast. If someone else can beat him, they will be getting the die cast thanks to Dakota Kramer. So keep your eye on that tonight. Andrew Wisdom is going to be the guy to beat here tonight. So wild race ahead, and I gotta say, the Savage says I'm in a no connection area, but I wanted to say that was the scariest night ever. If you guys were there last night, this guy was going to a haunted place at, what was it? The Conjuring House. So you're brave. Absolutely. We have a couple of happy birthday shout outs to Wisdom out there. Q-Dog says, hope to keep it on the track tonight. Good luck in the booth. Thank you, Q-Dog. Good luck out there. This is one of those nights where I am glad I am in the booth. Let's take a look. Some of these guys, they're starting to slow down on coming out here for qualifying. We got the 78 of Brian Smith on the track. You can see John Honeycutt is out, Adam Rowe, Byron Jones, and Byron Smith in that 78. Mons, he's back. Welcome back, sir. We missed you out here. Brian Smith going through that bus stop, entering the carousel. Coming out of the bus stop, Jordan and I were talking about it. It can be very tricky. I mean, you really have to baby the throttle, get back on very gingerly. It's not very kind of you if you don't. You will most definitely wreck your car.
Yeah, it's a really tough place at the track, and you kind of don't expect it. You figure he's slowing down enough. The entry to the bus stop is where you'd think you'd have the most trouble, and it's definitely difficult to get those marks right, keep the car under you, to keep from wheel hopping into that corner. But then on exit, yeah, you have to really baby the throttle to keep the rear end underneath you, or else you will spin out, and you'll likely get into the guardrail, or you might slide out into the outside runoff area where there's not a lot of grip, and you might hit that wall. So just really difficult to make a lap around this this deceptively challenging road course.
Absolutely. I want to get Andrew Wisdom in here, so let's take a chat with him. Andrew, where's he at? Oh, that's the wrong one. I moved into the wrong one. Hold on. We're usually in the other one. All right, Andrew, it's Eliza. How you doing out there?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
So I want to say, first of all, happy birthday to you, and I'm sure you've heard that there is a bounty on you for a die cast. So do you think you're going to be able to get it done tonight?
I have no idea, but I really want that die cast now, so maybe I have some extra motivation. I don't even know what it is, but we're gonna go try to get it.
I was just about to ask you, what is the die cast, but I guess it's gonna be a surprise for us all. So definitely keep us posted on that, all right?
Yeah, will do. I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Absolutely. One last thing. What is your strategy going in tonight? You're on pole so far. I don't want to jinx it, but you're looking very strong out there.
Yeah, just trying to stay consistent. I don't know that necessarily roasting the tires off of it'll be too much of a concern, as long as I'm not sliding it around everywhere and spinning out, but just trying to keep the lap times consistent. It looks like Smith's here and he's pretty fast, so just going to try to stay ahead of those guys and keep it in one piece.
Absolutely. All right, well, good luck to you and happy birthday.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Take it easy. All right, that was Mr. Andrew Wisdom, birthday boy out here, and he's got a bounty, so a full night ahead, along with taking on the Glen, which I'm telling you guys, if you have not tried it, super slippery. And Repeat says, Frozen, great stream the other night. Thanks for all you do. Repeat, you were awesome. Thank you so much. That means the world coming from you. It was so much fun, absolutely. J-Ray says, my first lap was better, but clipped just enough grass to where it didn't count. Oh no, are you kidding me? I'm so sorry. That is so brutal. Well, hopefully it's a long race. 35 laps, guys. They have 35 laps to get this done, so anything can happen. Atlanta, what's up? How are you? Hope you're doing well tonight. Thank you for the host. I really appreciate it. Charlie Mosley Jr. out here. Let's see what he can do. Am I seeing right? A 1? Okay. Let's take a look out here. Wisdom with a 113.5. Smith. I mean, Wisdom mentioned Smith. He's out here with a 114.04. Jacob Kerr with a 114.72. With Mons in fourth with a 114.99. Jordan, I feel like there's a couple of more 14s than what we saw in practice.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the opportunity yet to. Sorry, I think my wheel was vibrating with the microphone there on top of it. But yeah, let's take a look at the old lap times here. Right now, yeah, a lot of these drivers have managed to beat or at least do a little bit better than their or do around to their practice time. Jacob Kerr only a tenth off of his. Justin Mons was actually 4/10 off of his. So I'm completely wrong. A little bit slower, but yeah, they definitely. There were six. There were 5 drivers. It looks like in the 14 area or better. And right now we have 4 here in qualifying with Hunter Johnson in that flat. So really close. Several drivers opting not to to make that lap that will start in the back, or maybe they got enough grass or spun out and got that contact point or whatever that nullified their lap. But either way, we're getting ready to go green here.
We're getting ready to go green, and these guys are gridding up. We're going to have on pole Andrew Wisdom with a 1:13.5 in that number 9 car. On the outside, we have Brian Smith in that 78, just 0.4 off of him. In row 2, we have Jacob Kerr in that number 20 car with Justin Mons on the outside in that 14. Row 3, we have Hunter Johnson in the 1 car with Matt O'Brien in the 17 on the outside. In row 4, we have Thomas Flitcroft in the number 8 with John Honeycutt on the outside in that number 50 car. And row 5, we have Jamie Haynes in that 58 with Jason Keffer in that 22 on the outside.
John Blanchard with a 1:16.4 will start 11th alongside Adam Rowe. The final car to put down a lap time in qualifying is Byron Jones. He's starting 13th. Enrique Quinones starting 14th. In row 8, Doc Holliday and Cole Snyder. In row 9, Dakota Kramer and Jose Ruiz. In row 10, we have Bud Shearer and Charles Mosley.
And row 11, we have Michael Bain in the 84 with Samuel Harrell on the outside in that 43 car. And last but most certainly not least, we have Robert Reynolds in that number 10 car. And you guys, that is the field tonight. 23 cars, 35 laps, 1 fast repair, and 4 sets of tires. I'm glad I'm in the booth and not out there. More power to them. These guys are going to do fabulous. I say, Jordan, if they can make it past turn 1, lap 1, we're good to go.
I think we need to make it through the S's too and the bus stop. There's a lot of opportunity for mistake and action. I think we're gonna need a couple of laps under these drivers' belts, especially needing to get those tires up to temperature. They're gonna be really slick, but I think once they get through the bus stop, they're gonna be safe. The racetrack is pretty by the numbers from that point on once you exit the carousel. So I'm really excited to see what happens though in the first handful of the lap.
It's gonna be a wild ride. Davey Andre, he says tomorrow is the big day. Arianda Grande. Send and Rage, he is out here in the race, and he says Team FTR 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 8th. Super proud of these guys. Look at these guys taking different lanes here, cracking me up. Mike says, what's the plan? Survive. Absolutely. That is the plan. That's what I told Team FTR, have fun. If you got to be a little bit slower to keep it on the track, keeping it on the track is the most important part. And I'll tell you who I've heard that from. Jordan, who's with me in the booth, and Justin, another admin of SMB. They've always told me it's better and easier to keep it on the track than trying to race too fast. And it's most definitely the case here. And it's something that hopefully these guys will keep in mind for tonight.
Yeah, being smooth and consistent is much more important. Heck, at Road America, we saw Andrew Wisdom, who ended up leading that race. He went off track multiple times. So if you can stay on course, you can put yourself in a position to win this race. But we are getting ready to go green here.
We are getting ready to go green. Let's take a look at this. Green flag for Watkins Glen International. These guys are off and running into turn 1. Let's see how it goes. Man, this is a scary part right here. Andrew Wisdom has got a nice lead out. The 78 of Brian Smith taking it too wide already. These guys look okay behind as they are coming up through the S's. A very sticky situation, Jordan, as these guys can really lose it off into these corners.
Yeah, they really took it easy there. The 78 was pretty aggressive out of turn 1, but then gave way to the 9 of Wisdom. Now looking to the inside through the bus stop. He's going to pull back in line. They go through the bus stop, exit it. This is the place where we saw a lot of cars slipping and sliding, but they're going to make it through nice and cleanly around the carousel, try to late apex it to set up for this long straightaway down into the hard braking left-hander to set up the rest of the lap.
I'll tell you what, I'm so impressed with Brian Smith. We've seen him a few times out here, but man, this guy really knows this track, and he is giving Andrew Wisdom a run for his money. And another thing that I'm cracking up at, if you guys notice, take a look at Andrew Wisdom's car. It literally says your logo here. So if you're looking to sponsor somebody, he's looking, so make sure to contact him. But he is out in front running really well with a couple of guys right behind him that are ready to make a move when they can. Especially Justin Mons did really well in practice and in qualifying, so we'll see what these guys can do.
Yeah, we saw Brian Smith. He had a bit of a slide through the S's, was able to gather it back up, but he lost a fair amount of time to our leader, the 9 of Andrew Wisdom, as they work through the bus stop. Once again, nice and smooth out there as Wisdom starting to do kind of what we expected and what most of the field expected, starting to put a little bit of a lead together. The 78 falling off just a little bit into the clutches of that 41 of Justin Mons. Not quite into his clutches, I should say, but it's modestly close. Gap closed a little bit, but actually Smith had a really good carousel and was able to close that gap just a little bit.
And we got a couple of battles brewing up out here. We have Matt O'Brien in 5th, John Honeycutt in 6th, and these guys are pretty close. Tom Flitcroft in 7th. Jason Keffer in 8th. These guys really single file line at the moment. Anytime a battle can happen here, but we do have some pretty close racing, and you know that there's going to come a time where somebody's going to mess up, and it is either going to cause a chain reaction, because you see how close Matt O'Brien and John Honeycutt are to each other. John Honeycutt is all over the heels of Matt O'Brien, so anything can happen with these two. Super, super close. But just wait for something to happen is what these guys are thinking, and that's when they're going to make their move.
Yeah, O'Brien had a bit of a slip in turn 1, and that allowed Honeycutt to make up that gap. Both of them through the bus stop. Honeycutt still trying to make up the rest of that distance between the two of them, but O'Brien really smooth through that part of the corner. Swings out just a little bit, but is able to get back down to the apex for the exit of that corner. They go down that straightaway, trying to set up for the left-hander that follows that precedes, I should say, the final corner on the racetrack. Neither of them really using a lot of race car. Behind them, Tom Flitcroft spins out.
I was just about to go on him. Let's take a look, see what happened here. You can see him getting ready to enter the corner here. It's just one of those things. You get on the gas just a little too much or a little too soon, and that's going to happen. He's very, very lucky that it was not worse, because once that happened, it is very hard to correct that.
Yeah, he looks to me like he might have been a little late into the corner, and he tried to turn in a little harder to make up for it. Maybe overdrove it just a little bit. Maybe he was a little late turning in, missed his mark that way, and when he put too much wheel input into it, it just brought the rear end tires around him. And that's something that we have learned from watching and making laps around this place, is that you have to be incredibly smooth with not just the throttle, but with your steering input. You cannot put too much stress on these tires, or they will slide around. And when you start sliding them around, they just get unhappier and unhappier, and your job gets more and more difficult.
Absolutely. We're on board with Sean Blanchard, sitting P10 at the moment, newer to this league, and he's doing a phenomenal job out here. I'm really impressed with how he's driving. We have Jamie Haynes in P9 out here in that 58 car. He said, I'm gonna really try my hardest out here. He sounded pretty confident, so I want to see him possibly get in the top 5 here. So I think he's doing really well so far. We'll see what he can do.
And just a note on a couple of cars, Sammy Harrell already a lap down. Not sure if he had to repair some damage or what. Also, the 60 of Charles Mosley, he is currently on pit road. It would appear maybe fixing some damage as, that car just kind of warped some damage off the front end. So 2 drivers that, with a really, really unfortunate start to their races, currently 1 lap down.
Jason Keffer currently out here in P8, having a great run so far. He's got some company behind him of Jamie Haynes. Meanwhile, directly ahead in P7 is Hunter Johnson of FTR. Pretty fast in practice, so if you can stay consistent, he's got teammate John Honeycutt directly in front of him. We'll see what they can do, but they're looking really strong right now. Take a look at Adam Rowe, just outside of the top 10, currently sitting P11. He's in that number 15 machine with Cole Snyder directly behind him. He's got quite a few cars, including Tom Flitcroft, who we saw spin a little bit earlier, but he's still holding on. Let's take a look at Cole Snyder. You can see these guys in a single file line, very, very close. Robert Reynolds, we keep bringing him up race after race, just a little bit more. You can see quite an improvement out of him each race, so really cool to see where he's moving to.
Yeah, just saw 8th and 9th swap positions. Jason Keffer went really wide into turn 1. Jamie Haynes was able to capitalize, so he moves up to the 8th position. Keffer back into the 9th spot. Those two are racing pretty hard. Keffer might have took it easy there and just let him go once he missed the corner, but still those two really tight on the racetrack, and ahead of them there's 2 cars side by side. Oh, that's the 17 and the 50 of Honeycutt. Those two get together.
17 and the 50 of John Honeycutt make contact, and that's going to spin out Matt O'Brien. Let's take a look, see if we can have a double look at what happened here. That's going to cause some damage. Matt O'Brien, just a little bit of a nick on that right front. Shouldn't be too terrible, but John Honeycutt going to get some damage from that also as he continues on.
And that all started in the carousel, actually. The 17 of Matthew O'Brien, he got loose on the exit, and the 50 actually T-boned him there, and that's how they ended up being side by side and then exiting the carousel. Who was that split those two? That was Hunter Johnson that split those 2 cars, and that was an incredible move by him. But then, the 50. With all that front end damage, just gets real tight, pushes up into the 17 and kind of finishes him off.
Let's go on board with Andrew Wisdom, our current leader, who the gap is closing between him and Brian Smith, who is currently sitting P2. Almost down to a half a second as Wisdom is coming up onto lap traffic just straight ahead. And I want to take a lap with Wisdom here. This guy is absolutely incredible the way he wheels his car. We're headed into turn 1. Let's take a look. You got to go so slowly through here. Just really take your time. The S's are what can be very, very tricky. You're going to see him really wheel that wheel back and forth, trying to keep it steady as he's got some company directly ahead, and he's got some company that is quickly approaching.
We have a big issue for one of our drivers on our track. From that earlier incident we saw, John Honeycutt's motor has blown up, and he is currently crawling around the racetrack.
Aw, man, take a look at this, you guys. Jordan caught it right there. A lot of damage to that front end. He's gonna have to tow that, I would imagine. So close, just around the corner. Really unfortunate to see.
Yeah, they'll be able to get the fast repair, I imagine, so he won't have that 30-minute penalty of having to fix the engine, but there will be a couple of minutes to tow. That'll cost him a lot of time, and he's going to be fighting an uphill battle for the remainder of this race. Just going to be trying to keep it on track and picking off what positions he can from drivers that make mistakes. That's basically all he can do at this point.
Absolutely. Mike DB in chat says, did not survive. I am not shocked. You know, this is just how it goes here at the Glen. Very slippery. Yeah, it's just tough out here. I'm telling you, very, very tough. But take a look at this battle for the lead. Smith, he was on the heels of Andrew Wisdom. And I don't know if Andrew Wisdom saw him, but he was saying, not right now. I'm not ready to lose the lead. And he got an extra little spice in the engine, and he took off just a little bit. Brian Smith gets into the bus stop here really, really well and gains back a little bit, but Wisdom got out of that exit so well. He's over half a second behind once again.
Yeah, Wisdom had a great bus stop and carousel, was able to make up that distance. The 78 actually got in a lot deeper, it seemed like, into the carousel, but the 9 able to back that all up and get an excellent run all the way through this left-hander here. The 78 getting in a little deeper once again, able to make up that gap. The 9 not really pulling away on corner exit. They work the final corner using a little bit of the dirt, some of that runoff area. They work their way down the front straight to take off another lap. Start lap 10 of 35. There are 26 laps to go. Quick math in my head that was surprisingly difficult for some reason, but the 9 Your Logo here Chevrolet continues to lead the 78 Furniture Row Chevy.
Back to just under half a second. Let's take a look at the nose of Brian Smith, who, man, this is a patient driver. As you can see, he's getting a little loose coming off that exit there as they enter the bus stop once again, using the curbs, using all that they can, trying to take the straightest way through the bus stop and come around that carousel. You know, just looking at the lines of these drivers, it really is really beautiful to watch how they maneuver through these and make it look so effortlessly, when in fact it's extremely difficult.
Yeah, it looks like Brian Smith is beating Wisdom pretty much everywhere on the racetrack except for the bus stop and the carousel, and Wisdom is just so much better through those two portions of the racetrack. He is really able to pull that gap, and as I say that, 78 gets wicked loose trying to throttle up to probably set up a move into turn 1. Got just a little bit too much gas there, got a little too greedy with it, and he's going to have to cool those tires down. The 88 goes on by. Oh, there was a wrecked race car there as well, so a bit of a tense first corner there for this 11th lap for our 2 leaders, but they make it through unscathed.
The 43 trying to come around the entrance into turn 1 here, and you see he just loses it, and the leaders narrowly make it by. Very, very close for these guys, but they are fine and still moving. Let's take a look at the top 5 here. We have Andrew Wisdom is going to be the leader out here. We have Brian Smith in second, directly behind. Justin Mons just having a fantastic run tonight. He is about 13 seconds behind, but I'll tell you what, you know, he's P3 right now, so he's sitting really, really well. Jacob Kerr in fourth. He is about 16 seconds behind, and his teammate Hunter Johnson sitting in the top 5 out here with Jamie Haynes in 6. You know, I said I hope to see him in the top 5, and he is just outside of that, so I think he can get there in the top 5. Let's take a look at Jason Keffer in that 22/33. I don't know. I think he changed numbers, but he's got some company around him. He's got a car directly a little bit in front of him and a car just behind him. So that is Sean Blanchard, who is having a great run also tonight, sitting P8. Tom Flitcroft, who is also coming back from an unfortunate event, about 40 seconds behind our leader after that, but 24 to go already, and we have not had a caution yet. Still a ton of racing, not even halfway through, but these guys are doing really well, Jordan.
Yeah, and speaking of Flitcroft, he had an incident a few laps ago with Robert Reynolds. Probably has some pretty decent damage on that left front, not hindering him too badly as he's still working his way back up through the field after that spin, but just something to monitor on that 8 car. But battle for 7th seems to be the best battle within the top 10. We also have Adam Rowe and Cole Snyder really close to each other. That's a good battle for the 10th position as they are working the bus stop.
Let's take a look at these guys. I want to see what lap times these guys are running. You can see the top speed there. Jamie Haynes with the 167, Jason Keffer with the 169, tied with Sean Blanchard with the 169. All three have gained 3 positions. So a good, solid night for all 3 of these guys so far. Let's take a look at our leader, Andrew Wisdom and Brian Smith. Absolutely incredible. 180 mile per hour. These guys are just pretty incredible with how much they are just going at it and just staying so incredibly consistent. I don't know how they're doing it, but these guys obviously know how to handle the car, what they're doing, and are making minimal mistakes while they're doing so.
Yeah, they're close enough to each other. They're able to put pressure on each other, so it's really, that makes it even more impressive that they're able to run as consistently as they are able to, and to put the type of lap times that they have been able to really gap themselves from the field. I mean, about 20 seconds between themselves and the rest of the pack. So that is a large gap that they have been able to grow over just a short amount of time.
Absolutely. We're on board with Andrew Wisdom, our current leader, and he has ran a 1:15.2 to a 1:15.7 on lap 13. Smith, who has ran just a little bit slower than Wisdom, he is about a second behind him, so he's got some work to do, but man, the consistency is just amazing for these two. And I think before this ends here tonight, we might see a battle for the lead. We saw it earlier just a little bit. I don't think Smith was able to take over the lead, but we'll see if he will be able to challenge him for it later on.
Yeah, Wisdom just continues to be a 10th or 2 faster every time around. Looks like Smith was able to hold a pearl serve that lap time around. We'll have to see and compare. Wisdom ran a 16:06 to Brian Smith's 15:09, so actually a 10th faster there, or a half a 10th faster than our leader that last time around was the 78 of Smith. But not quite going to be enough. Catching him is one thing, passing him is another, and now you kind of wonder if maybe he's going back to that first lap when he got side by side with Wisdom and opted to lift going through the S's, if maybe he's kicking himself a little bit, maybe thinking that he should have been the one to get out in front there and force the 9. Oh, the 78 gets super loose. Looked like entering the bus stop there, but was able to keep it under him. Really solid job of drifting through that bus stop.
You know, watching these guys, they really do work the wheel, and they get so incredibly loose, and I just wonder sometimes, how in the world are they saving it and moving forward and not losing any time? It's pretty insane to watch these guys. So much talent in this league. It's pretty incredible as these guys are rounding out the final corner, heading into 20 to go. So you can see Brian Smith getting very loose coming off that exit there on the final corner, trying to get the speed that he can. He's going to lose just a little bit of time as he's trying to catch our current leader of Andrew Wisdom. Let's take a look at Jacob Kerr, who's sitting at P4. Doing a really great job, 22 seconds behind our leader. He's got teammate Hunter Johnson about 6 seconds back from him. Jamie Haynes in 6. 41 seconds back. P7 is Jason Keffer. And they have quite a few cars around them. This is where the biggest battles are going to be at the moment. Sean Blanchard, P8, sitting at 44.11 seconds behind our leader, just a couple of seconds behind the guy in front of him. The 88 goes off track. That is Doc Holliday that you see that Sean is passing right now. Thomas Flitcroft sitting P9 just inside top 10, and he's had a couple of issues tonight as he is passing on the inside of Doc Holliday, getting ready to go through the bus stop. He's got Adam Rowe behind him, getting ready to head through the bus stop with Cole Snyder directly behind him. Very, very busy track. These guys are starting to really spread out, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm watching that battle between Rowe and Snyder at the moment, and Snyder, he got really loose getting into the bus stop, had to make a nice little save, and something apparently just happened to the 14 machine of Justin Mons. Let's see, he just lost a spot. Yeah, he went deep into the penultimate corner. Looked like a lot of wheel hop as he was trying to get into turn 10, and just same place we saw the issue with Flitcroft. Different issue, but the same exact place, and he's gonna lose that third spot to Jacob Kerr because of it.
One person we haven't talked much of is Jose Ruiz, and he is in P13. He's got some company around him, Matt O'Brien, who normally we see him up towards the front of the pack, so I'm curious if we're going to see him make any more moves. I do believe he is on pit road. You can see him on the left-hand side of your screen, making his way to his pit stall there.
Yeah, to note, it wasn't wheel hop on the 41 machine. It was actually he clipped the grass going into that corner, which that is not good. As I have always told you, there's not a lot of grip on the grain. You want to keep it on the grain, and Mons not able to accomplish that goal for that one corner, but that doesn't change the fact he has had a fantastic event as he is coming to pit road now. He's going to bring Hunter Johnson with him, so pit stops have begun here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, our top 5 are on pit road. Andrew Wisdom, Brian Smith, Jacob Kerr, Justin Mons, and Hunter Johnson. All onto pit road, and I would imagine we're going to bring in a lot more than that once they get down next to pit road here. Andrew Wisdom, take a look at that, Jordan. Comes out and already back to the lead.
Yeah, I was going to say, heck of a battle off of pit road. Brian Smith right in his fuel cell almost as Smith lights the tires up, exiting the S's. They're going to head down into the bus stop. Smith really able to get in so much deeper than Wisdom, but Wisdom continues to be so much smoother, carry so much smooth on the back half of that bus stop. The 9, they're actually wrapping the yellow line. We've seen them using a much higher line with the fresh tires, maybe a little more grip, maybe trying to defend that position so that the 78 can't sneak his nose up under there, but they're going to go into the corner that's as far as I'm concerned, I'm very surprised that turn 10 is where the issues have been had so far in this race, but the 78 able to get right up on the rear bumper. The 9 clips the curb in 11 as they're going to head down the front straight to tick off a lap. The 78 right on the rear bumper of the 9.
These guys are absolutely wild. The 78 trying to bring it down low, trying to battle for the lead. You know he's going to try and make this happen again. He's being very, very patient tonight, making sure that he is not, gets super, super loose. You can see Wisdom get loose up ahead. I know. This is reminding me of Road America, Jordan. We saw it between Holzer and Wisdom. One guy would make a mistake, and then next thing you know, once they took the lead, that guy would make a mistake, and back and forth here we go. So we're coming around the carousel right now. We'll see how they can get off the carousel, whether they can get on the gas quick enough. Will they lose any time if they get loose? It's going to be super close.
Yeah, it's like you said, what we saw at Road America. The driver in front would make a mistake, and that driver in second would try to capitalize on it and would make an equal or even worse mistake whenever he saw that mistake. So the 78 saw the 9 get on the curb and get a little loose, tried to capitalize, and you can see him right there. He made that move in turn 1 the previous lap. He wanted to try to set that up again and just got too much throttle exiting turn 11. That's going to end up hurting him a lot. Not able to make that move, he's going to have to get down into turn 1 and try to make up that gap. If the 78 can figure out what Wisdom is doing to beat him through the bus stop and the carousel, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But right now, the 9 just so much better through those couple of turns, those couple of portions of racetrack. It's going to be real difficult for that 78 machine to be able to make up this tiny amount of ground and make the pass for the lead.
Jacob Kerr goes into P3 as he is entering the corner here, doing a great job. But I gotta bring up Chad here. We have Sir CJ says, just checking in. Good luck, drivers, and thank you, broadcasters. Much love. Hope you're doing well out there. Yotes says, man, had to call it a night, started lagging bad and didn't want to mess anyone up. So much for my debut. You'll have another chance, as Sir CJ says. It's a tough field and lag most certainly does not help out here, so don't get discouraged. We'll see you again out here definitely really soon. But Andrew Wisdom in first, Brian Smith in second, Jacob Kerr sitting out the top P3 here, Hunter Johnson in fourth, Justin Mons in the top 5, Bud Shearer. We haven't talked much about him tonight. He is out here P6, pretty consistent out here, and that number 93, Jose Ruiz, moves up to P7, Jamie Haynes in P8, Keffer in 9th, and Tom Flitcroft in the top 10.
Yeah, and Bud Shearer and Shearer and Ruiz started 19th and 18th in the field, so they have worked their way through a lot of traffic to get into that position. And what happened?
Jose goes off of the track, is going to lose a couple of spots for that. You see Honeycutt in the mix here. The 93 goes on by. Jose goes on to pit road along with Bud Shearer.
Yeah, and you saw him have to make. He went around a lap car there, and that just threw off his line, and that's why he went wide. And once again, turn 10. We went through all the places that were going to be action spots on the racetrack, and we did not once mention turn 10. And so far, that has been giving drivers fits in this race.
Matt O'Brien struggling here tonight as the leaders pass him by. He's in that number 17, letting them go by, letting them race it out. The 9 car going through the corner exit with Brian Smith in that 78 right on his tail, just trying all he can to catch back up to him as they're going through the S's here and getting ready to go back on the bus stop. And you can see we've talked about it so many times. Smith gets a really great entrance in there, but I'll tell you what, Wisdom gets a great exit going off of that and into the carousel. Jordan, it looks like Smith might have caught him a little bit there. I think he's starting to figure things out, is bringing a very close battle for the lead here coming up shortly.
Yeah, he really did get through there really well. Not really sure what he did differently. I was a little behind, but the 78 now right on that rear bumper of the 9, and this is where he's been strong, is through this portion of the track. If he can be smooth through this corner, he has the opportunity to set up for that final corner, but he gets just a little throttle, loses a little bit of ground down the front straight, swings the rear end out. They go around a lap car that pulls over to let them go. He's not in position to be able to outbrake the 9 of Wisdom, so Smith going to stay in line, but he gets down to the apex really well. But the 9 just continues to get such a great launch off of the corners. Don't know if that's throttle control or just that's the line that he's running or what it is, but either way, the 9 just doing an excellent job exiting the turns, and that is where he's been able to beat the 78 pretty consistently this entire race.
Hunter Johnson in P4. He's got some company behind him of Justin Mons. We'll see if he can close that gap a little bit and race here for 4th, but very, very close. Meanwhile, Johnson has teammate Jacob Kerr in P3, just a couple of seconds ahead. He's kind of on his own little island right now, so what he needs to do is just concentrate on being consistent, keeping it on track, and trying to keep those times up. You can see these two, Hunter Johnson getting ready to go into the bus stop. He's got Justin Mons behind him, and looks like Jamie Haynes is not too far behind. Is that? Nope, that's not Jamie Haynes. That's somebody else here, but these two very, very close. Mons really looking at a solid finish here tonight as he is currently sitting within the top 5, doing a great job. But man, really fun watching these guys trying to make it through as we have 12 to go, Jordan.
Yeah, this race really flying by. These drivers putting down some fast lap times. This is a very quick road course. There's a lot of long straightaways. It's not quite Road America by any stretch of the imagination, but you can turn some pretty high speeds down these straightaways. Oh, I'm continuing to watch these two shadow each other for the lead. And the 78 lighting them up through the bus stop as they head through the carousel. And just still the 9 just seems to be so much smoother than his competitor.
You can see Smith is really sending it going through the corner exit. Entering the turn, the right-hander here as they're coming around the corner. About 0.64 behind our leader of Andrew Wisdom. 11 to go here, so lost a little bit of time there. He's really going to try to send it in, going into the right-hander here. Makes up a little bit of time, but man, the exits, Wisdom is just so good at getting onto the exits. I'm wondering if Brian Smith is maybe sending it just a little too much to be able to carry that speed and momentum off.
It really looks like he's lit up the rear tires a little bit because he is sliding through every corner now. It appears. I think he's tried a little too hard a couple of times to set up a corner. God, they use every ounce of racetrack.
They sure do.
Entering the bus stop, they're working their way around, but the 78 really got into the bus stop really well. They was able to make up a little bit of ground, but the 9 able to get down there, and those two really tight, shadowing each other, mirroring each other's lap times, but they seem to have such a different style. But I think, the 78 blows the corner. Oh, he's out in the grass, able to save it and mitigate the damage. Oh, the 91, no, they make contact with the leader.
Take a look at this battle up here as our leader is trying to make his way through lap traffic, runs into the 91 of Sean Blanchard. So many cars out here. Wisdom, he's got his plate full. You know, these lap cars have been really good at getting out of the way, letting these guys battle it out. But there's just some parts of the track, there's not much you can do. I mean, you can try to move out of the way all that you can, but this is a tight track, a very tight road course, and they're doing a great job trying to get around it. But and I'll tell you what, Andrew Wisdom, he's got a lot of guys out ahead of him, and that may help Brian Smith, but he's really going to have to watch what he's doing because he is really wearing those tires down, using everything that he can, and it might hurt him in the long run.
Yeah, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft able to move around and to go back to that contact with the 91. I don't think the 91 really did anything too wrong there, but he did miss the very bottom of the corner and slid up into the 9. That's a it's just so tough when you're a lap car, and especially considering how much faster these two are, as the 8 able to allow the 78 around as well. Now they're going to try to work on the 33 of Jason Keffer there, or the 22 of Jason Keffer. Well, there's a 33 on his number. He's going to run the line. He's going to let these drivers go around. He's going to run really high through turn 1, allow the leader to go. He's going to slow it down, try to slow it down to let the 78 by as well. And that's going to allow Flitcroft the opportunity to pounce on him, but he lets up just a little bit, as that battle is, that's the battle for 7th. That is how many cars these drivers have put a lap down, that is the battle for 7th behind them. That's a good position that those two are racing for, and they are now no longer on the lead lap.
That is absolutely wild here, that these guys are so strong out here. Pretty incredible, I have to say. Master Killer says Wisdom is trying to save his tires, and I'll tell you what, take a look at this, guys. Trying to save tires, and he is out here running 114, saving tires. Smith, he had a faster lap 22, a little bit slower for the laps after that, but I'll tell you what, man, for saving tires, these guys are just absolutely wild, making it look like an incredible ride out here. So much fun to watch these two. You know, I hate to say it, Andrew Wisdom, I know it's your birthday, but I want to see Brian Smith come up there. I want to see you guys go side by side. I want to see that battle, just beating and banging off each other.
We've got a battle for 3rd as Jacob Kerr misses the bus stop. That's going to allow Hunter Johnson to get around him for the third position. So move the 20 car back into fourth. Now Justin Mons is still right there within sight of these two, really close. If they make one more mistake, he's going to be in position to pounce. But our third, fourth, and fifth place drivers still on top of each other, racing hard for that final podium position.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are FTR drivers right there, Hunter Johnson and Jacob Kerr, that are battling it out, with Mons not too far behind, getting ready to take advantage of whatever mistake these two might make. BK Doug is out in chat saying, thank you, Frozen and Jordan, for broadcasting every week. You guys do a great job. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I know these drivers so appreciate you guys cheering them on and coming out as fans. They absolutely love it, deserve it. They're amazing. And look, if you haven't driven on iRacing, I'll tell you what, driving on this track is a huge challenge. And they may make it look easy, but it's not. And it's almost as difficult as it was for me to say that. Master Killer says, dirty air is hurting Smith. Let's take it back up there. Still on his tail, just a little bit of a gap between the two, just under half a second. Man, absolutely incredible for these guys. I know what's going to happen. You have the 58 right in front of it, which is really slowing down. Oh, man, brutal for that spot to happen for Andrew Wisdom, but he makes it around okay, and 78 is going through very gingerly, trying to make it around him.
Yeah, nothing really the 58 could have done any differently there. Actually, it worked out better for Wisdom than it did for Smith. But Smith able to rebound pretty nicely through the carousel. He gets into turn 10 so well, but the Wisdom able to beat him a little bit out of it. But then the 78 once again outbreaks him, getting into 11, closes the gap just a little bit. But the 9 once again, so smooth, so strong, on throttle, off of the corner as they work their way down into turn 1. And the 78, he's going to take a peek to the inside. He's going to try to see if he can force a mistake out of the 9. That wasn't an opportunity to make a pass. That was just to see if he could bother the 9. Oh, they go by the 50 car of Honeycutt, who spun outside of turn 1. They work their way up the S's and the 9 of Wisdom with a fantastic turn 1 and able to pull that gap just a little bit on Brian Smith.
Take a look at Hunter Johnson and Jacob Kerr, teammates for FTR, sitting P3 and 4. These guys are so extremely close. Justin Mons directly behind. We have a three-way battle for P3. These guys are just all over each other, and I guarantee there's going to be a battle up here happening very shortly. We'll see how they maneuver with it and what happens. Kerr getting a little loose coming off that corner exit right there, but these guys still looking pretty good. But I'll tell you what, it's about to get a little spicy pretty shortly.
Saw the one get the curb just a little bit, thought that might be trouble for him, but he actually almost made it work for him and was able to pull away from Kerr just a little bit. Johnson goes down through the bus stop. The 20 and the 41 get into that corner incredibly well behind him and able to make up that gap. All the three of these drivers working really hard to pass each other, and it's really funny. This is the battle for third, fourth, and fifth. These are also the final three cars on the lead lap. As last time around, they were 44 seconds back of our leaders. Don't think they're in any danger of going a lap down, as they're about to hit 5 to go. Our leaders have already hit that mark for 5 laps to go, but it's just crazy the pace that Wisdom and Smith are putting down right now.
These guys are on another level. Smith has fallen back to just over almost a second and a half here, and he has fallen back again. So I'm curious if something happened for him. Really hurting at the moment, though. Unfortunate to see, but the race is not over yet. 5 to go. Anything can happen. We'll see if he can't make up some time, but this diecast is looking like the bounty is going to go for Andrew Wisdom, who it is. It's his birthday today, so huge happy birthday shout out to him. Man, he's doing a great job out here.
Yeah, gap was made, the 78 just missed the final corner and didn't even miss it that terribly. Maybe a lane higher, tried to make up for it, getting some more throttle and got loose off, and that mistake was really the big difference. Also got a little loose exiting the S's, but that's all it took. That's how consistent these two have been. Is that one mistake basically created a borderline insurmountable gap between the two of them.
The battle for third here is still single file line between Hunter Johnson, Jacob Kerr, and Justin Mons, who's sitting P5 as they're coming off the corner exit here. Let's take a look at Jamie Haynes. He is currently sitting the first one as a lap down in that number 58 machine. Jason Keffer, P7th. He's got Tom Flitcroft directly behind him, so we'll see if there's going to be a battle up here for 7th shortly. Sean Blanchard, who is sitting P9 out here on his own little island, so he can just keep it consistent. He'll be just fine. Matt O'Brien, who we've seen him as such a strong player out here through the season. I had hopes that I would see him in the top 5, but tonight, just not one of his great nights. Cole Snyder just outside the top 10, sitting P11 in that 23 car. Jose Ruiz in 12th position in that 32 car. We saw him with some issues earlier on. You see John Honeycutt directly in front of him. He still got some damage, Jordan.
Yeah, watching this battle for 7th between Keffer and Flitcroft, Keffer went really wide in turn 1. Flitcroft went wide as well, but slightly less wide, but then Keffer is able to really beat him through the S's. I thought we were going to have a bit of a battle going into the bus stop, but Flitcroft missed the S's just a little bit. That allows Keffer to pull away as they go through the bus stop here one more time, and was looking at the lap times before he got to the 33's bumper, and the 8 on running the same pace as our 3rd, 4th, and 5th place drivers. So this is going to be sort of a what could have been kind of race for the 8 machine after that early spin put him in the back of the pack and kind of forced him to play catch up. But he fell all the way back to 15th and has rebounded to 7th to 8th, I should say, at a racetrack that doesn't have a whole lot of passing zones. It's really fast, a lot of hard braking, but there's really not a lot of great places to set up a pass. So a really impressive job to rebound from that early mistake.
Absolutely. Tom really on his tail now as we are under 2 to go. It is winding down, you guys. Andrew Wisdom and Brian Smith, they have increased the gap between those two to 3 seconds. Brian Smith really hurting out here. Tires are completely worn, and his car is just not handling the way he would like to at the moment. So he's just going to have to try to keep it here as he gets loose coming off the bus stop, going into the carousel. Manages to save it, but that's going to cost him a little more time there, Jordan.
Yeah, as that gap between our leaders grows, the gap between 3rd and 5th is closing together, those two on top of each other. And I've been watching the 41 of Justin Mons. He has been getting incredibly loose, trying to take advantage as these laps wind down. They have finally hit 2 to go. Our leaders coming down the front straight to take 1 to go here, but that battle is on as they have a lap and a half to go to settle the 3rd position. As Andrew Wisdom, he gets himself a parade lap. As long as he keeps it on the pavement, he will come home the winner here tonight at Watkins Glen.
Absolutely incredible. So consistent out there. Man, well-deserved tonight on his birthday. Die-cast involved, so, and we don't know what the die-cast is. Dakota Kramer will come out with those details, but I'll tell you what, Andrew Wisdom has ran a flawless race tonight, so well-deserved on his end, and man, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx him. He's got Smith over 4 seconds back, so just keep it on the track, Wisdom.
Yeah, just a quick note, Jason Keffer spun it out of turn 1 and went head on into the wall. Not sure if that's how damaging that is, but I don't know if it's going to be a blown motor, if he's going to be able to drag it around the track, but either way, he's going to lose a lot of track position after having a really strong race up to that point.
Andrew Wisdom coming around here, gonna end up around the final corner into the final part of the race here as your winner at Watkins Glen International. Huge congratulations to him. What an incredible job out here. Brian Smith gonna try to secure that second place, and as long as he can make it through, he is just fine. But man, what an incredible job to Andrew Wisdom. Great job, Hunter Johnson. This is gonna be the next battle out here. Let's take a look. They have a lot of people coming through here. We have the one car of Hunter Johnson, Jacob Kerr. Man, it looks like he's gonna try to battle it out. Hunter's gonna throw a block here. Really incredible as they go too wide down here. Man, oh man. Jacob Kerr gonna take over P3. These guys getting sideways going through the corner here. Look at this battle for P3. Who's it gonna be? Both are FTR drivers. Jacob Kerr is gonna take over P3. Hunter Johnson in fourth, and Mon's gonna take over fifth there.
Yeah, not sure what happened to the one. He actually got the position on the 20 and had him beat off the corner. Not sure if he missed the shift or got some wheel spin going through the gears or whatever, but that allowed Kerr to pass him to take the final position as those three put on a heck of a battle. Mons really burned off his rear tires, and those three really tied. But it's all about our birthday boy, the race winner led green flag to flag. Andrew Wisdom comes home the winner here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Hopefully Brian Smith will... There he is. I found him. We're good. We're good. All right, and we'll get Jacob Kerr. What an incredible battle for third. I know that's going to burn a little bit for Hunter Johnson, but these guys had a great battle out here. We'll get these three guys in the booth as Andrew Wisdom is getting ready to celebrate a well-deserved win here tonight on his birthday. Also getting a die cast from having a bounty on him. No one could make it happen, so he's gonna go ahead and secure that one also. Kool-Aid, it's all good. Much love to you. Much love to you. Mon says, GG Wisdom, hell of a performance. I couldn't have said it better myself. You see him out there celebrating. Great job to him tonight. Andrew Wisdom, congratulations on your win here tonight. Man, oh man, start to finish, as Jordan says. How was the race in your eyes, and how did it go for you strategy-wise?
I am physically sweating right now.
I would
think
imagine.
possibly for the first time ever on a sim. That was crazy. I can't believe we held on to that. All I was really just trying to do was make it to around the halfway point before I came in. I didn't want to be... I knew kind of the earlier I could come in, the better, because I didn't want to risk getting undercut. So I think we just stopped kind of maybe one lap short or right kind of on that halfway mark. I just wanted to keep the tires under it and just get to that point where we could make it to the end on fuel. And yeah, it was kind of cool to have a straight up battle like that with somebody that's rated so highly on iRating. So kind of just got that straight up battle the whole race when we were on the same strategy, and somehow held on to that.
Absolutely. Well, you did a heck of a job out there. Congratulations on the win, and also for getting that die cast. I keep hearing that you were the guy to beat at road courses, and you definitely have secured that title here. Most definitely just with the Road America win a few weeks back. So this is definitely one of your strong suits. 7 wins of the season. So huge congratulations and happy birthday.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Jordan.
Yeah, here with second place finisher Brian Smith, a really strong race all night long. Was right on the back bumper of that 9 machine. What did you need more to be able to get around him to take home the victory tonight?
Man, I don't know. I can tell you what it felt like, and it felt like clean air. But I just want to say, great battle, Andrew. That was a ton of fun. But it felt like every time I got within half a second of him, I just could not do anything, and I felt like I kept overdriving the car. And it started really on lap 1. I thought I had him going into that second turn, and he actually hung on my outside there. And I didn't want to wad up the field going through the S's on lap 1, so I let him go. But man, yeah, I didn't do a great job of saving tires. I felt like any opportunity I had, I kind of blew it by overdriving. So, I mean, like I said, ton of fun. I love this track. I love racing stock cars on road courses. It was just a blast all around.
It seemed really, really slick pre-race out there during practice. How were the track conditions, and what part of the track really seemed to be the most difficult for y'all out there?
Well, track conditions were pretty consistent with I've run a couple A fixed races, so it was no major surprises. I was really struggling the final turn. I could not get a run on him coming out of that final turn, and I kept lighting my rear tires up. I don't know if I was taking it too fast or what, but I gave him a couple looks trying to outbrake him into one, but I was never close enough to make it inside, and I obviously didn't want to wreck him or move him. So, and I blew the bus stop on that one lap. So I wasn't about to win like that. So I let him go again. But I don't think I did a great job. Andrew did a fantastic job. Ton of fun though.
That is Brian Smith came home second place. Strong race. Those two put on a heck of a show tonight. Back to you, Eliza.
We have Jacob Kerr in the house, and I'll tell you what, securing that P3 finish at the line, how incredible. Between him and teammate Hunter Johnson. Take us through your race, Jacob.
That was a pretty good race. For the most part, we were quite far back of the two leaders, so we kind of knew at that point third was probably going to be our highest finishing position. But I mean, overall, the race went good. Mons had a little trouble there midway through the race. We went off the track, but I mean, other than that, it was a great race with Hunter. He was super clean. I really appreciated that, and for the most part, it was a pretty smooth race from where I was.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty smooth for you guys, but an incredible finish, which a few people are talking about in chat between you two, going side by side. I mean, how were you able to secure that P3 right at the end there?
He had a little. We had a little problem with one of the lap cars up through the S's, but I mean, it wasn't a big deal. But Hunter had a wiggle or something off the carousel, and I was able just to make up the ground off the corner, and was trying to be as clean as I could, go down his inside. I certainly didn't want to hit him, especially a teammate, and we had a little drag race to the finish line, and I don't know if he exactly had his foot all the way down, but we'll take third, and I'm happy.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a top 3 here. You guys did an amazing job. Andrew Wisdom, congratulations on your win. Fantastic job by you guys. But man, what a race out here. Really, you think of Watkins, Glen, and you think, oh, one of the easiest road courses here, but I'll tell you what, very slippery conditions. We talked about it all night. These guys did an amazing job with the tires, trying to keep it consistent, trying to baby the throttle here, trying not to get loose coming off the exit. So amazing job for all of these drivers out here. 0 cautions, you guys, 0. So phenomenal job. Next week, we are headed to Chicagoland, and the battle is brewing up here as we are starting to head towards the playoffs. So be sure to stay tuned next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a wild ride for these guys for the next few races, headed into the playoffs and past that. So great job here tonight. Marines, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate, yes, very, very slick. These guys did a great job. And Jordan, always a blast with you.
Absolutely a fun race to cover, fun race to watch. Long, really spread out amongst these drivers over the course of this race, but that's what you expect at a road course with that's going to go green the whole way. But some really, really fun battles, and at the end of the day, Wisdom able to come out on top of the one that mattered at the front, and it was a fun race to watch.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're headed to Chicago. See you guys.